I'm not sure now. Oh. Okay. I think this will be of some interest enough that I was willing to post it with my bedhead. Last night, Mr. F and I were up late after the party, and sorry, I need to get my coffee going. And at a certain point, after I wrote my post about the in-law situation, we were talking about it, and it was a good conversation. It went a little something along the lines of, oh, Mr. F, what the heck's going on here? I was just using up my peanut butter that is specifically peanut butter for baking. Anyway, here's what's going down. Basically, he was honoring me for making the capes and for making the turkey for his office party, which was good because I needed some honoring. But here's the real kicker. So I said, we were talking about what has happened, and here's the other thing that I failed to mention. I also made his parents a Christmas gift. When I was on Snapfish doing my photo book, I made them a photo album, knowing that they would really like it, you know. But here's the problem with that. And this will be controversial, but it might be even hard to explain, but here's what's going on. We talked about the gift giving and all this stuff, and I basically said, here's the deal. You know, like, this is really difficult for me. It's really challenging for me to, like, have all this ambivalence. That's why I keep doing this stuff. And I'm like, I kind of need you to just say, I am going to take full responsibility for all, you know, the relationship and everything that happens, and, you know, from this day forward, and what it means. Which he did. Okay. And then I said, well, I need you to also say to yourself and fully acknowledge that if you do that, and you do it the way that you're doing it, which is to do nothing, that you will be pretty much ending your relationship with your family, you know. And that's when he was kind of like, well, I don't really want to say that. And I'm like, well, that's why it's a problem, because when I hear someone say, well, I don't really want to say that, and what they do is certainly ending all ties, then my, like, crazy, like, fix it, you know, lights go on, and then I'm like, well, you know, and that's exactly why I made the capes, and why I made a photo album, all this stuff is like, then I get to be like, well, I want to help you not ruin this, right? So we talked about that. The problem with that is that I've been helping not ruin it for 10 years, and it has only made it worse. And it's so hard to explain how that could possibly be, except for this. My father divorced my stepmother several years ago, and remarried. And it was a complicated situation. And ever since then, and before that happened, my stepmother was one who managed all the relationships with, you know, my grandparents, with all his kids. And when she was taken out of the situation, she was really uncomfortable because she wanted to, like, and I mean, she would literally even say, like, you know, but, like, you know, it's not about me, it's about the kids, and I want you guys to have a relationship. And so it's like, and then at some point we just had to be like, yeah, this is hurting it. Your involvement is hurting it, because we need to find a way to either have a relationship or not. And, you know, the third party is actually making it worse. So while I could see that that was happening there, I guess I'm doing the same thing, but it just kind of, like, for her and for me, like, it just doesn't make sense that it could possibly be making it worse. But it is. Okay, so here's what's happening. So I said, okay, Strat, seriously, you need to really know that, like, you don't call your family. You wouldn't have bought any gifts, and I feel guilty about that. And he's like, yes, but what you need to understand is I don't feel any guilt for that. Well, that was like groundbreaking news. And he said, like, he feels no guilt about missing gifts or buying gifts or not doing it, whatever. The only thing he feels, and I'm sorry that's loud, is regret that he doesn't feel guilty in a way. Like regret that the relationship is so distant that he doesn't even have guilt. Well, now that makes me want to like try to make it better too, but I realize like I have to sit on my feelings, and you know, everything I've done hasn't helped. I almost think it's because, I don't really know if it's because my doing it, just like my stepmother, re-emphasizes how little there is, or what. You know what I mean? Okay. So we decided to move forward with giving cousins envelopes, and that the capes I made will go in as birthday gifts, and it's the last thing I'm going to do. And that he really has to do it if he wants to do it or not because of this. I was yesterday thinking, well, I'll just do kids stuff forever. And the photo album, I'm not giving it to them. Because, and this probably, I'm not sure everyone will agree with this, but you have to like really get to my place of being with it. Because it's what I've always done. And I'll send the photo album, and they will want to believe that Mr. F made it. And they will. I mean, that's what they'll think, that he did it, because they would never think that I would do anything, right? And the problem with that is, on one hand, the reason I did it was that I'm like, well, I want them to have something that they'll like, and they'll have some, like, you know, happy, you know, they'll enjoy it. But the problem with it is, and the problem that has always happened is this: I did it. He didn't do it. He didn't care to do it. He didn't care to think of doing it. He didn't care to think of them. He didn't care to do any of those things, right? I was doing all of that. They'll get the gift. They'll think, oh, things are getting better. But the truth is nothing changed. It didn't get better. I just did it, right? They'll call, you know, for like 2 weeks, and then Mr. F will start avoiding their phone calls again and not call them back. And it's just like, I feel like sending it, because all they want is something from him, sending something from me to cover up his lack of interest in sending something just sets them up for it to get worse again. Like, I'd rather it just be realistic. Like, you think I don't do anything? Okay, I won't do anything. Mr. F doesn't want to do anything. You're not getting anything. At least the message will be consistent and clear. I think if I send it, it just starts getting things all back into confusion. Does that make any sense to anybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I send it, they'll think he made it and that he sent it. They'll feel good, but it will be fake. They will call. He'll avoid their calls. It'll go back, and I mean, they're just going to get hurt again. So I think it's best for him to just do what he's going to do on his own time. I mean, he didn't make anything for them. And with the kids, we're sending the kids stuff. I told him he has to get those out. I mean, I reminded him, like, dude, Christmas is next Thursday. Like, if you're doing this, you need to actually do it now. He's going to do that. And then, hopefully, and then from then on, you know, I made it clear, like, it's really hard for me to sit with these feelings that, like, I don't know what's going on, and I kind of want to make things better, and I need you to fully commit that you understand that you're in charge, and that you understand the ramifications of your decisions, and that you're probably ending your relationships. And he gets it, so it's weird, people. It is weird, but that's what's going on. So that is the final shebang. Okay, check.